It's time with JMU Hall of Famer Delvin Joyce.
Joyce breaks a tackle and goes in for a touchdown. Another spectacular run by Delvin Joyce.
Alongside one of the best signal callers in JMU history.
Bad Lee, he's got plenty of room across the 50 to the 40. He should make it all the way to the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, James Madison University.
Together, the duo bring their unique perspective to the podcast, breaking down all the things they're seeing about JMU football. This is To the House. Now, here's Delvin Joyce with Vad Lee.
What's going on, JMU Nation? Welcome to another episode of To the House. I am your host, Delvin Joyce, the People's Choice. I'm joined, as always, by my good friend, my co-host, future JMU Hall of Famer, Lavadier Lee. What's going on, Vad?
Come on now. Come on, Lavadier. There we go. I like it. I like it. You've been working. You've been
I love it, man.
that. You've been practicing that.
Hey, I have, man. I got the pronunciation guide out, and that just flows, man. I love the way it flows. So how's it going, man? Victory Monday. JMU pulls off the dub. How are you feeling about that?
Hey, man, we got a dub. Anytime you get a dub, that's a win, right? That's a win-win situation. That's another opportunity to live another day with a smile on your face, no frowns, right? There may be a few frowns after this game, or just just straight line, but we got the dub, and that's all you want at the end of the day. This can be an entertainment business, or it can be playing football. If you're playing football, you got more points than the other team. Hey, you're happy.
That's exactly right, man. And I think I cautioned about this game last week on To the House. I said this could be a potential trap game. That is a very, very tough place to play. Not necessarily because they got screaming fans, but quite the opposite. In fact, Vad, I saw the final attendance number that they posted was 19,000. And I was like, wait, were they still in the tailgate lot while the game was going on? Were they stuck in traffic on 85? Because I did not see 19,000 people in that stadium. There may have been 4,000, and 3,000 were JMU fans.
Yeah.
So it was a tough place to play.
Well, we talked about bringing your own juice, BYOJ, right? Let me just say the juice was not juicing. But the juice was good enough.
The juice was not juicing.
The juice was good enough to get a win.
Yeah.
Juice was not juicing, but it was good enough to get a win. So shout out to JMU. Shout out to the fans. You were there, right?
I was there, man. I was at the tailgate making cocktails for everybody. In fact, allegedly, I might have made a cocktail for new president, President Jim, at the tailgate. And I may have gotten a compliment on how good my cocktail skills are from new president Jim. But yeah, man, it was a great turnout of JMU fans, man. We missed you down there.
Yeah, man, I definitely wanted to come. It came to a split time decision, but I ended up going to see my dad, who had a stroke a couple months ago, and got to go hang out with him and pray over him.
Oh, man.
He's doing better, so we praise God for that.
Good. Well, good to hear, man. And prayers up for your pops, man. Hopefully he makes a speedy recovery and everything works out.
He was wondering. He got one TV right here. He doesn't have any feeling on his right side for now. It will come back, but he got one TV like right in his face, and then one TV over here. So he got two TVs. He's kind of living like I'm not gonna say nice, but he watches football. He watches multiple games, and he's like, what the hell is going on with JMU? 14 points. 14-7. Did they win? And I'm like, yeah, they won. So anyway, he was kind of wondering.
Hey,
maybe he'll watch To the House to try to figure it out.
Let's go. I love the dedication from Pops, man. Even on the on injured reserve, man, he's still keeping up with the Dukes. That's awesome, man. And listen, man, if we go back to this performance from JMU for a second, I mean, so obviously it was not the performance that we wanted to see in this game. And I got to go back to last season, because in 2024 we would have had a performance like this and probably come on the other side of it with a loss. And I think Bob Chesney has said this, like, you'd much rather learn lessons in victory than learn tough lessons in defeat. So first things first, so glad they were able to pull out the win. There was a point, I was hanging out with the JMU Sound Off podcast guys, Michael Evangelista and Jonathan McNamara. And there was a point we all looked at each other and said, hey, you just got to win this game. Like, it doesn't matter what happens, right? We don't need style points. Just leave the stadium with a dub. But obviously, bad. There were some issues that we saw, And I would say those issues started on the offensive side of the ball. So that's where I want to spend a lot of our time tonight talking about this game, because much has been made about this lackluster offensive performance, a performance where your starting quarterback goes 11 for 22 and 74 yards passing. And we saw that running game again, but it did not materialize into points. So, Vad, for you, I guess, what were your observations watching the game from home? What were your observations on this offense?
Yeah, obviously there was some struggles, right? I'm not hitting the alert button, alarm buttons. I think a lot went into this game. I think the conditions, you talked about being in a stadium where it wasn't a lot of juice, right? It was, what was the forecast was, the sun wasn't out, right? It just seemed as though this game was one of those games where you couldn't really get anything going momentum wise. And we didn't have a sense of urgency on offense. Right. There was no sense of tempo. There was no tempo at all. It was almost like watching an old school football game where you huddle up and you let the play clock go down and you run the ball. You try to throw it every now and then, but it just seemed very old school, very lethargic, and not a lot of tempo. Usually I'm used to seeing a JMU team make a big play here, a big run here, get on the ball, maybe snap it again within 10 seconds or something like that. But for this one, it just wasn't multiple plays. You might have had one play here and there, but it was not multiple plays stacked on top of each other that made it difficult to build any type of rhythm. There were a few drops in the game. I think the first 3 drives, the main receiver was the main target was the running back. Right? Meaning that we didn't get open downfield. From a game plan standpoint, Georgia State, they played almost like 10 on 10. They condensed the game to like 10 on 10 football. And what I mean by that is they would take our wide receiver and put him up man to man. They would just play man to man on our single wide receiver. And that condenses the formation. Think about if a wide receiver is out here, all you're focusing on now is the 10 other guys over here. And it seemed like that was their game plan. And they did a great job of just taking away the single receiver on the far side. Because one reason why defenses do that is because that's a low percentage pass to throw it to the field, right? To throw it way over there to the field. So many quarterbacks don't throw across their body far to the field, right? So they played 10 on 10 football. They had a lot of different sets. And so I thought that was very interesting. It seemed like they had a really good game plan against JMU. And going into this game, if you remember last week, I kind of mentioned like this game, I believe it's going to come down to our wide receivers being able to get open and make plays. And I don't think I saw that this game. And you can be assured that this is going to show up again for the rest of the games, because if you think about our season so far, I don't feel like we've had a game where our wide receivers have taken over the game. You know what I mean? We don't have like that one guy like Georgia State did, right? We don't have that main guy that you're trying to force the ball to. We have a collective offensive unit, which is a positive thing, but at the same time is something that is not a concern, but something that defenses are going to hone in on moving forward.
And by the way, to hear you say that is surprising, right? Because I think coming into the season, we all thought not only did we have a guy, we thought we had like 3 or 4 guys. And by the way, I'm not saying we don't. I'm saying that so far as we look at this season, the guy technically is Landon Ellis, right? He's been productive for us, but it has not shown up in terms of big numbers and stats and big plays the way that we thought we would see it. And I think what you described, Vad, you talked about lethargy, right? You said the team looked lethargic. You said it looked like old school football. You know why it looked like that? And by the way, I signed up for a PFF subscription. I have no idea how to use that crap, bro. Like, it's too much numbers and math. I'm not a math guy, right?
Hey, man, I'm a basic guy here.
Yeah, same here. But I signed up for PFF and I went in, I started trying to look at these stats. And I'm like, bro, my brain just tunes out. But the eye test for me said that we ran the ball on first down, we ran the ball on second down, and then we threw a pass on third and 5 and higher in obvious passing downs. ran the ball on first, ran the ball on second, and it seemed like that was the rhythm and the cadence on every single drive. Now, I know there were a couple of times that maybe we opened up on first down on a drive and actually threw the ball, but for the most part, it felt like we were just running the ball. And it seemed like our game plan coming into this game, of course, after a 338-yard performance last week against Georgia Southern, was run the ball. The challenge with that is, bro, I mean, I looked up like 15 minutes into the game and it was halftime. Like, we literally just zapped the entire clock and we had no points. Yeah. So if you're going to run the ball that way, then we got to score points and we got to keep their offense off the field.
Yeah, well,
right. In fact, our best play, by the way, our best play on offense in the first half was what? Fake punt.
Yeah, Lakota.
We did it twice.
We did it twice. Did it twice on the same drive. Dude is the third leading rusher of this game. That's awesome. Tight end.
The same. Have you ever seen a team give up a fake punt for a first down in the same drive in a football game?
I've never seen that. And shout out to coaching, right? Because you talked about it. You said last year we probably, a game like this, we might not come out in the victory category. But I believe that coaching played a part. Obviously, it plays a part in every game, but it played a big part into us even getting to 14 points. I know that sounds crazy. I know, 14 points, come on, bro. But those two calls are big calls from Coach Chesney. Again, another Bob Chess move, right? That was a big call to do it twice in one drive.
Yeah.
And we still didn't end up with points. However, we were able to, this game felt like JMU was in control of the whole game. Why? It's because exactly what you just said. We had the ball, even though we weren't scoring points. We had the ball. I didn't get the time of possession, but we had the ball for majority. I know for sure we had the ball for majority of the game, maybe 2 times more than Georgia State. And so I think that plays a part in winning football, though. Obviously I come from before JMU, I came from a triple option culture and background at Georgia Tech. One of the ways that we won games, we didn't have people knew Georgia Tech, was undersized, probably necessarily couldn't match up against, the Georgias and all of these SEC schools, even though that was our rival. But why were we able to beat them? Why were we being able to be in the game? Is because we controlled the clock and we also got first downs when it mattered. And that's one thing that we did not do in this game. We weren't that great on third down, which we usually are. And so credit to Georgia State. I mean, they had a good defensive game plan for us. I think so too. We did not take advantage of space. It just seemed like we didn't. It seemed like the game was condensed. And to that point, when I was watching the film, it just seemed like they condensed the game by playing 10-on-10 football and sending guys off the edge, doing different things. They knew that the one-on-one wide receiver matchup, on the far side or whatever, they kind of felt like that they had an advantage there. And they were right. They kind of came out and they were right.
No, I think we condensed the game with our game plan. I think our game plan was to run the football, and that did not make for a wide open offense. Like I didn't see, again, just going back to what we've talked about in the past with this offense, I saw no imagination. I saw off tackle, run the ball, zone read, run the ball. And it just felt like, this game had a potential to get away from us because to your point, we were controlling the time of possession in the first half. We didn't score any points. Now, I know if you listen to Del McGee's post-game presser, what he talked about that fake punt, right? The 2 fake punts. We didn't get any points on that drive, right? Which was disappointing for us. But we kept them on the field. Like, we kept the ball for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That was like a 10-minute drive.
Yeah.
And no points. And he's like, well, our defense was on the field for the entire game. We were tired in the second half, which is probably how we kind of wore them down with the running game. So if that's the game plan, I get it. But that's going to be a tough road to hoe in this Sun Belt Conference if that's our game plan going forward.
Yeah, well, I don't disagree with you, but I will say we threw 22 passes in 3 quarters because we didn't attempt a pass in the fourth quarter. Well, we didn't attempt a pass in the fourth quarter. But did he get sacked? I guess we gave up 1 sack this game, huh?
By the way, it was one of the mistakes that I saw him make. It was a sack. He's outside the pocket. All he had to do was toss the ball away. I think he was trying to do too much and got tripped up.
Yeah,
right?
he got tripped up. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, 22 passes in 3 quarters. I mean, yeah, that's pretty good in my book. And so that's what, almost 8, 7, throws a quarter. And so I think the rhythm played a part in changing the game plan. Because you could have been like Georgia State. They got away from their run game completely in that second half. So I credit the coaches, right, for sticking with our run game, because let's be honest, the strength of our team is our run game. And we've been saying that from the beginning.
Is it though? Is it?
Absolutely.
I mean, I think it is. No. I think it is a strength. I think as we go along in this Sun Belt Conference, the film is going to get out, bro. And I don't know that it's going to be a strength going forward, because teams, bro, if you look at Georgia State, they started loading the box at the end of the game.
Yeah.
That 9 people in the box. We're going to see that a lot more. So I think the strength of this team is our dynamic weapons and our ability to mix it up, both run and pass. Again, maybe this is just me, but I don't want to see, and this is crazy coming from a running back, I don't want to see I don't want to see us run for 300 yards a game. I don't want to see that, bro. I don't think that's a recipe for winning for us in this conference.
No, well, I definitely disagree with you right there. Because
okay,
so far this year, the strength of our team is running the ball. And now you're making a point about what we need to do in order to ensure that we win. Not necessarily win games, ensure that like we keep the defense honest. That's a totally different conversation, right? But if we run the ball for 300, we have a great defense. When you have a great defense, you want to control the clock, and if you can control the clock, that means their team is on the side.
That you want to win. You want to win football games 14-7 for the rest of the season.
I don't. No, I don't. I'm a quarterback, so I like scoring points, and I like throwing the ball.
Thank you.
Now here's the funny thing.
Thank you. By the way, the game plan that we had on Saturday was a 14-point game plan.
See, now you got me upset. My dog is coming to make sure my heart rate is all right. I'm good. No, it's funny because you're the running back here. You're supposed to be saying what I'm saying, and I'm a quarterback. I'm supposed to be saying what you're saying, but we're saying the total opposite thing.
We're saying totally opposite thing, because you know what? I want to throw the ball, man. And you know what I want to do? I want to throw the ball downfield. I will tell you from my vantage point, we have turned our potentially all-conference, all-star quarterback in Alonzo Barnett III. We have turned him into a game manager. The guy is not allowed to make any plays. 11 for 22 for 74 yards, did not attempt a pass in the fourth quarter in a close game. It's not like we were up, right, and we were trying to run the score. I mean, it was 7-7. We didn't even throw the ball on a 3rd and long. Like, so again, I think I want to see some dynamism, and I want to see them mix it up. And now maybe that's our receivers not winning downfield. Maybe we didn't have that confidence because Georgia State has some ballers. But let's mix it up, man.
Yeah, I would say Georgia State definitely had some athletes out there. I'm not going to say, obviously I believe that we're supposed to put up more points, and it's not to the standard. I think I heard Alonzo's press conference. He was pretty upset, right? It's not to standard. However, you have to, the flow of the game kind of showed me that passing the ball wasn't going to win this game, right?
By the way, those same athletes that you say Georgia State had, because they did have some athletes. Yeah. Those athletes gave up 63 to Ole Miss, and they gave up 70 to Vanderbilt. All right.
Now,
so keep going. Keep going with your point. Keep going with your point.
Now, are we comparing JMU to SEC? I mean,
yes, we are. Because you know why? I mean, coming into this season, we said this might be a college football playoff team.
Yeah.
Is Ole Miss a college football playoff team? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is Vanderbilt a college football playoff team? So, of course, you have to compare yourself to those teams. Certainly, if Vanderbilt puts 70 on this team, we could score more than 14. Fair or no?
That is fair. However,
it's
not fair to compare against the SEC school. I love my Dukes. I love my Duke.
Okay, well, let's put up 40 then. Let's put up 40 points. Let's compare them against the American school, Memphis, that
no doubt.
Scored more than 14 points against this defense.
By the way,
Mercer scored more points than JMU.
Score.
Yeah, I think Mercer scored I think they scored like 21 points against this team.
Hey, I think that we don't need to panic. I think going into this week, I truly believe the conditions, the elements. Now, it's football, so I know I'll get killed for that. At the end of the day, you still got to perform, right? But we found a way to win the game. We do now. I agree with you, Delvin. We do have.
Sorry, Murray. It was Murray. Sorry, it was Murray State.
Murray State. How many?
Murray State scored 21 points.
They scored 21. What did Georgia State score?
37.
37. All right. As a team, we have our defense is incredible. I thought. By the way, we're not shifting, but we can if we want. But their quarterback, we talked about being a strong arm quarterback. Dude was putting the ball on the money to his receivers, right?
He was.
Georgia State. But
I am too, yeah.
If you look at the total game, I think he started 6 for 6, but that was kind of even misleading itself, right? Because they were throwing like hitch routes, little short routes, right? And they just had that one pass play go to Hurst, and they went for 52 yards. Outside of that, JMU defense did an amazing job of rattling this guy and making him throw the ball earlier than he wanted to throw it.
Yeah.
So I thought that, again, our part of our offense, a complement to our offense, is a great defense. And because we put the game in the defense hand, do you want to live that way? No, especially coming with 2 offensive players on this podcast. Definitely not, right? But I will say one of the greatest lessons that I learned as a quarterback is to reserve the right to kick. The right to kick. That means I'm not trying to play hero ball. I'm not trying to go and win the game myself. I'm not trying to truck 3 dudes. I understand that I have a good enough defense where if things aren't going as well as we planned them, which you're going to have some games that it doesn't go as planned, that means I reserve the right to kick. I take advantage of possession of time possession, and I give ourselves another chance by kicking the play, giving it to our defense, making them getting a stop, giving us another opportunity. I'm saying that's a life lesson that we should that we should take into consideration.
And listen, I agree. I think we had a lackluster game plan against Louisville, and our defense kept us in it, right? And except for 2 plays.
Yeah.
I mean, we gave up 2 plays.
Yeah.
The defense played rock solid, and that's what happens in these close games where maybe you don't have an offensive game plan that's built to score points, and all it takes is 1 play. And I'm going to tell you something, man. Georgia State, Ted Hurst had a play in the first half that should have gone to the house. He caught a little hitch. And I think Barksdale tripped him up a little bit. He broke that tackle.
Yeah.
JT barely got a shoestring.
Yeah.
That should have been 7.
Yeah.
The other play was, I think it was Finley had Ted Hurst down the middle of the field in one-on-one coverage on DJ Barksdale, and he had Barksdale beat by 7 steps, and he overthrew him by like 3 yards. That also should have been 7. And then late in the game, if you remember, I think it was 4th quarter, they also beat one of our DBs on the outside. I think it was Elijah Culp got beat on a deep ball, and the receiver just flat out dropped the pass.
Yeah.
And he was
Beautiful
88
pass.
and out the gate.
Yeah.
So my point to you, Vad, is when we have an offense that is not built to score points, it's built to manage a game in time of possession, and we're relying on this defense that, you know what, has played rock solid, but could give up a big play here and there. In a 14-7 game, it matters. And let's let it rip, man. We turned our all-star quarterback into a game manager. He is Trent Dilfer right now. 74 yards. And by the way, 11 for 22. Half of those passes were to the running back or the tight end out of the backfield.
No doubt.
Throw the ball to the receiver. I want to see Alonzo Barnett throw an interception. Let the guy throw a pick.
Well.
Because you know why? You know why that? You know what that means?
What's going on to the house? What is going on here?
Bro, I'm fired up, man, because it was so frustrating to see it in person. It was so frustrating to be there and watch it. Bro, we had 0 points in the first half.
No doubt.
0 points in the first half. And we had the ball the entire time, right? And at least if he throws it downfield and throws an interception, at least we took a shot to one of our receivers downfield. I'd rather see that.
To your point, Delvin, when people see this game or when people see the score or the outcome of this game, especially 74 yards passing, that gives people hope who haven't even played us yet, right? That gives people an opportunity to say, hey, that gives this weekend, this is a good team that's coming into the house. And that gives them a little hope that, they can, because they can score points. And we ain't even gotten to them yet, but they can score points. So that gives them hope that if we score points, we beat JMU.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where we are right now.
And I'll tell you, objectively, I probably saw Barnett make a couple of bad reads, right? I don't think he played bad. I just think he wasn't given an opportunity to be great in this game. There was one play where it's like a third down. Wayne Knight wins on an option route and goes out in the flat, and he's wide open, right? He beats the linebacker on the option, and Barnett just misses him, right? So that's when
we're tired of throwing in the running backs. We're trying to throw it downfield, right?
Well, on that third and 3 kind of call, he threw it to the running back. Yeah,
I remember that.
And by the way, I like that call, right? I mean, you got an option route with Wayne Knight in the flat on a linebacker. I'm going to take that all day. He's going to win that. Yeah. Put the ball on him. That was an easy one, right? There was another one where Wayne Knight didn't win on the option, and he went to Wayne Knight instead. But Mikey Scott was coming across the middle of the field on a drag route, legit wide open. Like, I mean, he hits his head on the goalpost if he catches that ball, right? If he throws it to him. And then there was another play where he just, he handed it off to Jordan Fuller on the zone read instead of keeping it because everybody crashed down on Fuller. But objectively, like when I tell you I dissected this game, those are the three things that I saw. Not counting the sack that he took late in the game that was unnecessary, more of a covered sack. Should have just tossed it out of bounds. The guy made 4 mistakes in the game from what I saw.
Yeah.
Right? Let's let the take the governors off, man, and let the guy throw the ball down the field. Throw the ball down the field. Where's Isaiah Alston? I mean, this guy's a big play receiver. Throw it up and let him catch it.
Yeah. Yeah, I do from Georgia State's game plan, because this is going to show up again. I do believe that we need to become more creative with one-on-one matchups. Like at the end of the day, if a team is going to play like that, as a quarterback, as a wide receiver, you're licking your chops. You're thinking like, man, this is one-on-one territory. Go and beat your man. I'm coming to you. This is the opportunity to make one guy a hero, because it's like, hey, if you're guys going to play, 10 guys over here and just one-on-one over here, then hey, let's create an offense where everybody goes to the boundary. Literally,
right.
we could have put everybody in the boundary and it been one-on-one to the field. We got slant, we got fade, we got comebacks, we got curls. I haven't seen us run a comeback this year, so I'm not sure if we're a big comeback team. But I love throwing comebacks because it's just your receiver or it's out of bounds, right? Either your receiver or out of bounds. That's what the quarterback is taught. And so I do know that this is going to come back up, and we're going to have to take advantage of our one-on-one matchups. That's what I would like to see in the pass game.
Well, I think the issue that I saw really, man, it was just the mix of plays, man. It seemed very predictable at times. We ran the ball on first down. We ran the ball on second down. We got into a 3rd and 5, which was a passing situation, and then we didn't convert on a lot of those 3rd and 5s. I mean, it was as simple as that. Literally every drive went that way.
Yeah.
And I want to see them mix it up more. I can't wait. I'm sure the guys at JMU Sports News, they'll probably do a deep dive on like, here's how many drives started with a run versus pass. Like, I really need to see that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I just felt like the offense looked super predictable.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, because coming out of the Georgia Southern game, the thing that they said gave them all the success was staying ahead of the chains on first down. I get it. Right? But let's switch it up. I didn't even see the bubble screen to the receivers or the quick screen to the receivers on first down in this game.
No.
Which is like a staple for us.
Yeah, I seen one RPO, which actually was pretty. I wish I had my football with me. I don't. But I actually I enjoyed seeing that RPO simply because, Delvin, you're a running back, right? I got this.
I am. I was. Now I'm a golfer.
You're forever running back. I got this little paper. I don't know, my girls, right? We usually hand the ball sideways where the ball is pointed, but I seen Alonzo hold the ball here, and I'm not sure if it was a called RPO, but he held the ball in throwing ready, and he put it in the running back's belly, straight up and down, but then he ended up throwing the RPO. I wasn't sure. When I was playing, we always just put the ball in the running back's belly sideways like it's supposed to, right? And then if I wanted to throw, I'll just kind of fix it and throw it. But I wasn't sure if that was a designed RPO call or if that's how they actually do it. So that's something that I'm looking at as the season go on, because I thought that was pretty cool. Like if the running back can get the ball straight up and down, that's pretty cool too.
No, running back don't want the ball like that. Don't hand the ball to me vertical.
That might be a new way, new skill of the game in 2025. I don't know.
It is not.
It's
bro.
not.
I mean, do not hand the ball to me vertical. In an RPO situation. That's a fumble waiting to happen.
But as a quarterback, it definitely helps get the ball out quicker, I will say. I don't know if it was a design call or whatever. But I was interested in that. And it was a completed pass. So I thought that was pretty cool wrinkle. I'm not sure if he was actually reading the defense on that or if it was designed.
That was one of the times where we actually won on a route. I guess my question, if you go back and watch the film, did you feel like our receivers won on their routes? Like, I wish I had like the coach's copy of the game, because it's hard to see it on the broadcast because you don't get the whole field. Yeah. But are we winning on routes, or was Georgia State's coverage such that we didn't even try to push the ball downfield? I was just very flabbergasted.
Yeah, I mean, I will say going into this game, I felt like we weren't that like we weren't winning. And going into this game, that's why that was a big key for me, is to see us win. And it kind of played out the way I was thinking in terms of if they stop our receivers or if they shut down our receivers, then it's going to be a hard day. And it was a hard day. And if we can't win one-on-one matchups, it's going to be a hard season, because we can't do anything big. You got to have some explosive plays in every game in order to win a game, right? It just seemed like there was really no explosive. Was there explosive play? What was our longest play?
The fake punt. I mean, the 23-yard Lakota got 23 on one of the fake punts.
Okay, let's stay there, okay? Because that is something to celebrate in terms, hey, you don't have any explosive plays, but yet you still find a way to win. Come on now. I mean, this is not going to be the JMU brand of football every week. This was one game. I think this was one game where I'm not going to stress. I'm not going to, 14 points. I'm not tripping, because I feel as though this game is set alone by itself. And sometimes you need games like this to really go back to the basics and go to the identity of who we are, where we need to be. And we need some intensity in practice. We need to ensure that we do one-on-one drills all week this practice, even on Friday, even leading up to, even in pregame warm-up on Saturday. We need to do one-on-ones, line them up, because we have to win on the outside. And if we're not winning on the outside, that's going to put pressure. Now, I still think our running game is going to be capable. I still think that our offensive line dominated. I think our defensive line dominated the line of scrimmage as well. But we want to complement those guys. We don't want it to be harder on those guys. We want to complement those guys by throwing those one-on-one matchups on the outside.
Yeah, and by the way, I'll correct the record. Wayne Knight had an explosive run of like 21, and I think Jordan Fuller also had an explosive run in that game. So I think we had like 3 explosives in the game. I guess I agree. Like I am not panicking. I just want to see this team get better, and getting better means that we got to score points on offense, because we know what this defense is capable of. And at some point, this defense is going to let down. We know how seasons go, right? We got a new offensive coordinator. He's got wrinkles that nobody's seen before. But, toward the end of the season, by the time we go to Texas State on a Tuesday night, everything that we do is on film.
Yeah, absolutely.
So at some point, we're going to need to score points. And I want to see us do more than just manage time of possession by running the ball. I did not think coming into this season that we would be a possession team in that way. Right? Because, man, I'm telling you, that clock, bro, we looked up and it was second half and we had no points.
That was the easiest game to watch back. I mean, I watched that thing in 2 hours. It was quick.
And props to them for getting the win, right?
Absolutely.
Again, last year we would have lost this game, right? There would have been some stupid like fumble or interception that would have cost us the game, and we won. So props to them for the resolve. The second half, man, to come back and score 14 points in the way they did it, I thought was phenomenal. So I'm excited about that. And every team has a game like this, right? Look what happened to Penn State, right? Out at UCLA.
Absolutely.
Right? Look at what happened. I mean, even who else lost a close one this week, right? There was games where teams should have won and they lost.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, we got the dub. And that's all I think everybody is leaving Georgia very, not happy, but like we took care of business and let's get back to work. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. Defensively, man, they look really good. I mean, Gannon Weathersby balled with a lot of tackles. I mean, I thought they played solid. I thought the tough one was the matchup for Barksdale on their tight end. Overton Howard, the dude was 6'4". Barksdale is 5'9". And I love Barksdale, man. I think that dude is a freaking dog. From Rock Hill, South Carolina, which is known for having dogs on the football field. But man, I mean, he's given up like 7 inches, 8 inches to this guy. Like, I just think that was maybe a mismatch that they exploited in that game. He caught a pass over Barksdale for their only touchdown. And then he had 6 more catches. But good on them, man. I mean, they exposed some of those mismatches. I thought Georgia State had a great game plan. And we knew that coming in because they had an extra week to prepare because of their bye week, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're playing another team coming off a bye week as well this week. And so
Ironically. So tell me, all right, let's transition, man, because I'm getting fired up. I feel my blood pressure going up talking about this game still. Tell me, I guess, what your thoughts are on this Louisiana team and what they got going on.
Yeah, Louisiana, I really do think that they know how to score points, right? They lost the game to Rice 12-14. They lost by 2 points there. They lost to Eastern Michigan 31-34, right? And then they won against Marshall last week before the bye week. They won against Marshall 54-51. So this team has played in 3 close games. Now, they lost 2 of them, but they were able to find a way to win in their last game. They had a starting quarterback that got hurt, and I think he's out for the season. Then they played another guy, but now they're on their 3rd quarterback. However, I know that sounds crazy. However, their 3rd quarterback may be their best option. Not even maybe. Their 3rd quarterback is probably the most dangerous option on the team. Why? This guy won Louisiana State Player of the Year coming out of high school, and he had 4,600 yards in high school, and he ran more than what he passed. He had like 2,400 rushing and 2,100 passing. And so this guy is homegrown, playing for Louisiana, and I obviously, when you have a dual threat quarterback like that can present challenges even to the best of the defenses. I think about, somebody like Alabama back in the day who always had strong defenses when they, lined up against Cam Newton for the first time. He presented different challenges where, Alabama just didn't have enough athletes that could match up. Now, this guy isn't 6'6", whatever, 250 like Cam Newton. However, this guy is explosive. He's looking to run, but sometimes when the defense know that a quarterback is looking to run, they can let up in the pass game for that big explosive play. So we're going to have to ensure that we contain our lanes, our gap assignments, create a pocket around him to make him uncomfortable, to make him a passing quarterback, to make him beat us in the pocket. He didn't start last week, but he came in during the game, and he basically came in and won them the game. The guy was explosive, and I enjoyed watching him play. And so that's something that I believe that this team has been battle tested. They have been put in different situations where sometimes they have lost and sometimes they have won. They have played against some really good schools. And so I think that this is a game that we have to come out firing on all cylinders, or else it will be one of those games that we're not happy about. This team played in the Sun Belt Championship last year game. And so they played against Marshall last year, right? And so beating Marshall last week did a really big boost to their confidence, and they feel like, oh, we're back. Like, we're back to that caliber team that can play for conference championship. So this is the game where I think JMU will be tested.
Yeah, man. I mean, this school, they got a really good history of football. You know, they were never, I don't think, FCS. Like, they went from Division II to FBS in 1978, and they've been FBS ever since.
Yeah.
And to talk about that, we got a special guest coming on the show a little later. I want to save it as a surprise, but we got a special guest coming on the show a little later to talk about this Louisiana game, because he is a Louisiana alum and played at a high level in the NFL. So that's coming up in a short bit. But from what I see of this team, Vad, I think you're exactly right. They got multiple quarterbacks that can play. This kid, I'm actually afraid of. I think this is a great tune-up. Now, and I don't want to say tune-up because, again, there's no tune-ups in the Sun Belt, right? You got to go out and you got to perform. But I do think this will be great preparation going into the ODU game a week later, right? Because that kid, Colton Joseph, the quarterback for Old Dominion, probably plays very similar to the quarterback that you just mentioned. And obviously the team can't look ahead, but we're fans. We can look ahead to Old Dominion. I'm wearing my white shirt today, by the way, because the game is a whiteout.
Nice.
On Saturday. So the weather looks great. It should be an amazing crowd. And I do agree with you, man. It's going to come down to this defense stopping this offense. And the big playmaker that they have in the backfield is Zylan Perry.
Yep.
I mean, this kid is phenomenal. He's got 411 yards rushing so far for the year on 59 carries. He's got a long of 84, and he's rushed for 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So have you had a chance to see him play?
Yeah, they have big players, meaning that they have players that can take it a distance, and we have to ensure that we're sound on our tackling and in our gaps to ensure that they don't get any big plays. This is a momentum team. This team is they got a new starting quarterback. The coach didn't come out and share that he was going to start, and what I say, Lunch Winfield is his name. He didn't come out and say that he was going to start, but he was like, the guy played pretty good, and we need him at quarterback. And so when you say things like that, that's what they're going to do. But they run they spread you out. They do a lot of motion before the snap. They're trying to see, I was explaining to my wife this weekend, the importance of motion. And the importance of motion is seeing what type of shell is the defense in. Are they in a man? Are they going to play man, or are they going to play zone? When you do motions before the snap, if the guy runs with him, that means it's man. If no one runs, that means it's some type of zone defense. And so they do a lot of that. I think they have an excellent coach as a play caller. They do a lot of underneath routes, so a lot of like drag routes, a lot of first down starters where it's kind of like, hey, this will get us 3, this will get us 4. But also, once that linebacker start coming up on that drag route, now you throw it behind him with the dig route and some type of middle route. So they do a lot of that. On defense, they run a 2-high shell, and they run a 2-high shell, but they don't stay in a 2-high shell. So they start with 2 safeties, but they play a lot of games with their safeties where their safeties are run fit type of guys. So if you're running,
like our guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And so anyway, I think that leads to the Duke's offense having, again, what we were talking about, one-on-one opportunities where, we call those guys high access corners. If you don't have any help over the top as a cornerback, that means you have to play that receiver from the goal line to goal line, right? Wherever he goes, you have to go. That's called a high access corner. And so I would like to see our offense take advantage of those high access corners by running curls, running comebacks, running post routes and bang 8s, which was my favorite. And so I think
what's a banged 8? What's that for our audience? What's that?
Good question. A bang 8 is like a post, but it's more like 1, 2, 3, throw it. Like, as soon as your receiver turn in the post, as soon as he turn, we want that ball to already be on him even before he get his.
So you throw him open.
You throw him open. It's made for one-on-one type of routes. You get inside of that DB, and the ball should be right there on you. And so I think routes like that will really be able to beat this team. That's my keys to the game. I think we need to go some tempo. I seen this team kind of get a little tired once things once a drive sustains. I think we need to go some more tempo. That would be totally opposite of Georgia State, right? We need to go tempo and
There was no tempo.
continue to dominate the line of scrimmage and win one-on-one matchups. Those are my three.
Yeah, I think I would love to see some tempo too, man. I would love to see this team play with a sense of urgency and confidence, which is what I didn't see at Georgia State. I think that's what I was trying to say. And if you listen to Alonzo Barnett III's comments after the game and the post game, he basically said that. He said we came out and we had distractions and we had other stuff that we were concerned about that, we didn't play our best game on offense. And then Jordan Fuller stood up and said the exact same thing in the post game. He said, we didn't, I can't remember exactly how he put it, but he was essentially like, we didn't come to play today on offense. But by the way, he came to play. That dude is a freaking horse, man. Yeah. He balled. Him and Wayne Knight, they both balled. I would love to see them. I don't want anybody to mistake what I said earlier about this running game. I would love to see us still be able to run the ball and control the line of scrimmage. I just want to see us mix it up a little bit, throw some passes downfield. Where's the 15-yard dig route across the middle of the field? Where's the post? Where's the comeback? Right? Where's the back shoulder throw? Where's the fade in the end zone? Like, where are these plays that this receiver core should be able to make? And I want to see that against Louisiana this week.
Yeah, we have to see that. It's not I want to. We have to see that this week, or else it's going to be a long day.
Yeah. The good news is we get to come back to Harrisonburg, get to play at Bridgeport Stadium, where I've never really seen the team be lethargic, except for Gardner Webb, but we won't talk about that. But, I mean, we get to be – and the game got elevated to ESPN2. So I got fired, so I was going to do the broadcast for ESPN Plus, which is bad for me, great for the team, man. I love the national exposure. And I got to tell you, man, it really says a lot about the James Madison brand that ESPN says, let's put them on the deuce, not even ESPNU. Let's put them on the deuce at 12 o'clock on college football Saturday.
Yeah.
That is a big, big deal, man. I'm excited about that.
Absolutely.
So Vat, I alluded to this earlier, man. We have a very special guest coming on the podcast. For first time ever, we had a guest on To the House, by the way. So I am excited to welcome in my good friend, Brian Mitchell, to the podcast.
Big win, huge play. Don't just remember it, wear the moment. Breaking Tea makes shirts that capture the game's biggest highlights right as they happen. Gear up today using the link in the description. College football's back, and it's time to upgrade your game day gear. Right now, claim 15% off at Home Field. The best retro and vintage apparel in the game. Rep JMU in style. Don't wait. Check the link in description to get your 15% off.
All right, To the House. We got a very, very special guest joining us right now on the To the House podcast, a guy who has taken it to the house many times in his career, both college and in the NFL. None other than my good friend, my brother from another mother, Brian Mitchell. B. Mitch, what's going on, B. Mitch?
I'm chilling, D. What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing great, man. I mean, obviously, a lot of our listeners are from the Virginia area, a lot of Redskins / Commanders fans, so they know you very, very well. But what they may not know is that you went to the school of our opponent this Saturday, the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns.
Yes,
now,
yes.
B. Mitch, I don't even think they were called Louisiana when you were there. What was the name of the school there?
They were called the University of Southwestern Louisiana when I was there.
That is crazy, man.
Old, man. When they changed the name of your school.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I think back then we were called Madison College, man. What are you, like 80 years old now, B. Mitch?
Nah, man, 5'7", bro. I'm hanging tough, though. I'm hanging tough.
5'7", that's my height. Well, so a little background for our To the House listeners. So B. Mitch and I played together for the New York Giants, and it was the honor for me to be teammates with B. Mitch because you guys may not know, I actually wore number 30 in high school because I was a big fan of the greatest return man in NFL history, Brian Mitchell.
Appreciate that.
So, man, I learned so much from you. But what I want to learn from you right now, what was it like, I guess, playing college football at Louisiana? Because a lot of our listeners know nothing about this school. This is the first time we've played you guys since moving up to the Sun Belt. What was it like playing down in Louisiana?
It was exciting. I think the one thing people may not know, I wasn't a return guy there. I was a quarterback. I was a quarterback for 4 years down in Southwestern. And we ran a running shoot with the we ran option and a wide open offense. And they recruited me to play quarterback. A lot of other schools wanted to change my position. And so I went there as a quarterback and a chemical engineering major, which made college very interesting. Didn't have a lot of time to do things by myself, but I found the way.
That's amazing. You know, I forgot you were a quarterback because I remember we had a couple of trick plays drawn up for you in New York where you could throw the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah.
And
I saw my last game I played quarterback because, you know, I think with Kerry and also Jesse Palmer both got hurt.
Oh, that's right. That is wow. By the way, Brian Mitchell, when I tell you this guy, first guy I ever saw with true grown old man strength. You know what I'm talking about. Like he can't lift weights, but he can open a pickle jar, like that kind of strength. Like this dude is stupid strong, man. Like if he gets a hold of you, you are cooked. But
amazing. I feel like I'm learning I'm on a history lesson right now. I mean, I'm a younger guy, not trying to call you guys old, right? But I'm a younger guy.
Well, he said run and shoot, so that ages us a little bit. Run and shoot, man.
The name changed, the language of this conversation has totally changed, right? Brian, where are you from for the listeners and even for myself? Where are you from? Where did you come from? What was your high school career like before you went to Louisiana?
Well, I'm from Plaquemine, Louisiana, right across the road from Baton Rouge. I'm about an hour and 30 minutes from Lafayette, where the Raging Cajuns are. I was a quarterback in high school, started playing quarterback in the 8th grade. In my 9th grade, I was a starting quarterback for the 11th, 12th grade team. And, I had a lot of fun with it. I think it was early on where I had a coach, Don Jones, who ended up being a receiver coach at my college. He basically told me, look, we're going to run this offense where you're calling all the plays. So in the 10th grade, I was calling plays myself, straight from the sideline, which, I think at that point, I'm sure Delvin could attest to this, when people show you like you have ownership in something, you're going to do it even more. You're going to feel better about it. And I think that was the beginning of me caring about this game of football so much, because this coach gave me that much, that young, and my rest of my whole career, I always felt, listen, Delvin, to tell you, I had fun on the football field. I had fun off the football field. But when it came time to work, I was going to work, and I did the same thing when I got to college.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How often do you keep up with this current team, this 2025 team this year that we're getting ready to play on Saturday?
Well, I went down there for the game against McNeese where they ended up winning that game. They had a Hall of Fame weekend that weekend where they were putting people into the Hall of Fame. My cousin, Kelvin Brooks, who played basketball there, was getting inducted. So I went down for that, and they played very well, but when you lose your starting quarterback, the guy who you go into the season expecting a lot from, and you have to have some other kids coming along that you didn't expect to be playing, things change up a little bit. So they're a team right now that's have some promise, but they're struggling a little bit. Hope they come together, have their best game this weekend.
There it is, on To the House podcast. We'll dive more into that once you're offline.
Hey, listen, man. Nobody talk crap like B. Mitch, bro. I'm gonna tell you something, man. This guy can talk some crap, but so B. Mitch, I guess for our fans, right, knowing that you play quarterback in college now, how did you go from quarterback to one of the best return guys in NFL history?
Well, it's the love for the game, and as I stated earlier about having ownership. And when I got here, Wayne Sevier, he basically said, look, the only way you're going to make this team is being a return guy. I could have gone to Canada. I had a 3-year guaranteed offer to go to Canada and play quarterback. But as I told people, I never had a dream in my life about playing in the CFL. My dream was to play in the NFL. And I was given that opportunity. And, I guess God kind of works in mysterious ways. The first time I returned a kick was a touchdown. So now it makes me I love it even more because I was thinking if I got hit and knocked out or something, I was going to Canada. I was going to go try to play that luxury life for quarterback, but having that success early, and I can remember coming to the sideline, I was happy. Charles Mann said, man, you just made the football team. And my coach said, you haven't done a damn thing yet. You're on kickoff coverage and you better be on the tackle. And I was on the tackle, and then the rest is history because, the guys started treating me differently. And you know how that is, Dale. when you get in, when you're on the team, you try to figure out where do I fit. And when the veteran guys start bringing you in, you know that something is going on. So it just made me become a little bit more studious, and I made this thing, and then I wanted to play every position I can, because Joe Gibbs told me the more you can play, the longer you can play. My thought process was play 4 years in the NFL, make you some money, and go start a business. Well, 14 years later, I was still doing it.
Wow.
Amazing. 14 years is amazing. And what, I mean, I put you on the spot real quick. What was your favorite NFL memory?
I'll be honest with that touchdown, because I think without that touchdown, I don't go into it head first feeling the way I did. We're in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, playing against the Atlanta Falcons, because that was all Redskin territory down there. But they were trying to get the Carolina Panthers down there. So we went to play Atlanta and opening kickoff. And all I remember my coach saying was, those holes close quickly. And I saw a hole, and I'm going to tell you, I might have ran my fastest ever that moment, because I got through the hole, came out the other side, scored the touchdown. And I think when I think back to all the things that happened, winning the Super Bowl and all that, that keeps popping up, because I think without that, I don't get the other things, because I'm not going to have the same exuberance and excitement about it.
Wow. And last question for me, and then Vat, I'll let you ask one more if you have one. But what should JMU fans know about this Raging Cajun team, community, the culture of the school and the organization? What should we know about you guys?
Well, the team is going to fight hard. They're going to play hard. But the culture, man, listen, they are very, very hospitable. Believe me, they're going to probably be, if they bring a lot of people up, they're going to tailgate. And I'm going to tell you, the food is outstanding. Listen, they like to have fun. They very much like I was, V. They like to eat and they like to drink. They like to have a lot of fun. We're the group, like, when you go in and you come out of it, you feel very comfortable with the people, because they're not going to attack you. If you ever went down and played against the New Orleans Saints, that's the way people treat you. This is not going to Philly or New York, where you got to be worried about your life when you come out that game. Yeah. Win or lose, we're going to have fun, because we're friendly people.
No doubt. Do you bring crawfish to tailgates? Is that a thing? Can you do that?
If they're in Louisiana, they will. But I don't know if they'll bring them all the way up here. But they're not traveling with. Yeah, they're not traveling with that. Then again, you got some people that have the traveling boilers, and they can boil their crawfish. They can fry turkeys. They do whatever. They do it real big time. They have gumbo, all that stuff for their tailgates.
That's wild. Gumbo at a tailgate, bro. I don't even know if I could go watch a game after eating gumbo.
Hey, bro, you probably won't. You'll be sleepy. I know that.
Harrisonburg, Virginia is not ready. I got a chance to go down to the Super Bowl this past year in New Orleans.
Wow.
Man, I just really got to embrace the culture and fell in love. One of the best places. Me and my wife are just looking for an excuse to try to go back. So I'm sure your dining hall food was probably good on campus, right?
Outstanding. Listen, man, I can tell you one thing. We didn't have a lot of people missing meals, because you knew when you went in there it was going to be great for you. So a lot of guys that came from other states, man, they were like, yo, man, y'all eat like this all the time. I'm like, ever since I can remember. My dad was a chef, so I ate very well. That's why I picked up the cooking from. People always ask me, why do I cook? Well, my dad passed away when I was 21, right after my first year of the league. But I was the young kid always with my dad when he was cooking. And then when he passed away, I just found myself venturing to cooking all kind of stuff. And I guess that's my way of keeping them in my life. I cook all the time, man. And a lot of people here at the radio station, TV station, they always ask me to cook. So Thanksgiving, Christmas, I bring in fried turkeys, gumbo, all that type of stuff. So they're starting to get a little hungry now. This is that time of the year.
That's amazing. Wow. That's it, man.
Thank you for sharing that. And I definitely resonate with your whole Canada thing, man. I went there for a little bit, and I realized that I don't even know this place. I never had a dream of doing this. So I appreciate you sharing that. Last thing that I want to ask, and then we'll let you go. I'm big on like transitions when guys are done playing after the game, right? What has your transition looked like after your college and 14-year NFL career?
You know what? I think it's been kind of very, very smooth for me, because I did radio while I played. I started doing radio after my second year. I would do a Monday night show prior to the Monday night football game. And then about 4 years into that, I started doing a TV show on Sunday nights where I would travel. We had a home game or a close game. I was at Channel 9 for 15 minutes. I did a thing on a show every Sunday night. So it gave me a kind of an idea of what I wanted to do. And when I retired from football, this is now 22 years. I've been doing this ever since. I've been doing radio since the day after I retired from football as a profession now. And it's fun because it keeps me in with the sport. And now I do a lot of content stuff for the team and I get to travel with them. So looking forward to Madrid a little bit later this year. So it keeps me to it and I don't have to get hit anymore.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I told you it was my last question. I still got one more. So I saw a post on Instagram that said, who were the most famous alums from all the Sun Belt colleges? And for Louisiana, I was expecting to see Brian Mitchell.
Who they
right?
put?
Frank Ocean.
Frank Ocean.
The singer.
Frank
Ocean.
I didn't even know he went to Southwest Louisiana. That's a new one for me.
Yeah, so I guess would you put Frank Ocean over Brian Mitchell at this point? I mean, come on.
No, not even if that. No, you ask the football people when you see them this weekend. They'll tell you.
Man. That was a surprise, man. But listen, man, you are a legend, bro. Like you just
Appreciate
said, you've been retired 23 years. I also been retired 23 years, and I didn't play 14 seasons. So that is a testament to who you are and what you accomplished. They say never meet your heroes. I'm so glad that I got to meet you and play with you in New York, man. That was a highlight of my career. So really appreciate you coming on the To the House podcast.
You got to see me in a grass skirt.
I did. I didn't even gonna tell that story, man. Actually, I'm gonna tell it after you go off air.
All right, dog. Y'all been
All
good,
right,
man.
my guy.
Appreciate y'all for having me,
Good
man.
to meet you, man.
Thank you.
All right.
Big win, huge play. Don't just remember it, wear the moment. Breaking Tea makes shirts that capture the game's biggest highlights right as they happen. Gear up today using the link in the description. College football's back, and it's time to upgrade your game day gear. Right now, claim 15% off at Home Field. The best retro and vintage apparel in the game. Rep JMU in style. Don't wait. Check the link in description to get your 15% off.
So, man, what a great interview. What a great conversation with Brian Mitchell, man. I love that dude. You know what he was alluding to at the end? My wife was a high school cheerleader, and she went to Hawaii for the Pro Bowl to perform as a cheerleader in high school, and they brought out a bunch of NFL Pro Bowlers to a hula dance. And B. Mitch was one of the players in a grass skirt. And my wife had the video, and we showed the video at one of our New York Giants team meetings, and it was like a huge surprise. So anyway.
That's amazing.
But
he seemed like he has a
amazing.
great personality for it, too. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, man. And and by the way, he said that Louisiana team's going to play hard. If they're anything like Brian Mitchell, man, I mean, we better come with our boots strapped because this dude was like a hard-nosed competitor across the field in all positions.
That's
so
amazing,
honored to know him.
Well, I appreciate being the young guy on the call and learning. I got my notebook out, writing notes, looking up history, looking through the SARS and all types of stuff. 23 years? You've been retired for 23 years?
Yeah, man, something like that. 22, 21. I don't know.
Bro,
I don't keep track,
20.
but...
I'm only like 25.
We like the same age, huh? Hilarious.
That's amazing. Thank you for bringing him on. That's awesome.
All right, Vat, you know what time it is, man. It's time for What You Talking About, Willis.
What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about, Willis?
All right, so my What You Talking About, Willis, is not a direct quote from anyone. It's actually me saying to the fans of Penn State, you are validated, right? You are validated in your concerns. I love James Franklin. Vat, you may not even know this. James Franklin was my receivers coach at JMU. So love the dude. Yeah, great guy. And every year,
story about James Franklin, by the way.
I can't wait to hear it. But every year I come on, they lose the big game. Everybody's calling for his job, and then I come on here and say, "What you talking about, Willis?" I mean, the guy's doing a great job. I'm not saying that, his job should be in jeopardy. I'm not saying that, right? But for the people who are calling for his job, who are upset about that performance, let me just say you guys are validated. And for the people that say that you should never be able to question James Franklin ever in life, what you talking about, Willis? I mean, you got to hold these coaches accountable. And there is no excuse, man, for Penn State to go out to UCLA, to an 0-5 UCLA, and lose that football game. So,
yeah,
tell me your James Franklin story, though. I want to hear this.
Yeah. So when I was in high school, I was playing quarterback all the way. I'll make it quick. I was playing quarterback all the way. Georgia Tech, I explained that story. They came and said, "Hey, you're our quarterback." Some other folks were saying, "Yeah, athlete, blah, blah, maybe quarterback." I wanted to know I was their quarterback, right? Well, my senior year, I think I proved everybody like, oh, shoot, this guy's a quarterback. Senior year had like over 5,000 yards, 3,000 something passing, and another 1,000 something rushing, and won North Carolina Player of the Year. So James Franklin just got the job at Vanderbilt, the head coaching job. He recruited me at Maryland, and Maryland did offer me as a quarterback, and he really wanted me there. And but then he took the head coaching job, his first head coaching job at Vandy, and he came to my school. And my high school coach was the in-school suspension teacher. So, we used to hang out. We used to just hang out in there. That's where all the coaches came and everything. And my coach calls me to his office, and James Franklin is there. And he says, "Van, you told me," he went in on me. He said, "You told me you wanted to be a quarterback, and you go to Georgia Tech? You choose to go to Georgia Tech? Like, they run the triple option. I don't know if you know, they run the ball 99% of the time. You told me you wanted to be a quarterback." And he was like in my face, in my grill, to the point where
that sounds right.
To the point where all of my friends, all of my buddies in there are like laughing and like, just kind of, I'm embarrassed. I'm just like, this dude is like yelling at me like he knows me, talking to me like strong, and basically embarrassed me. And it's so funny because like I left that day like, F you, James Franklin. I don't like this guy. Who the heck are you to come in and talk to me like that? And I'm not saying that he was right, but I will say, his approach forced me not to understand what he was saying. Right?
Yes.
I wish that I could understand. I wish I could have I wish he could have talked to me a little nicer. maybe I would have understood like, oh, SEC football, new head coach, a coach that really likes me, playing quarterback, Perhaps like I wish I kind of would have listened, but I could not hear him because he was kind of like going in on me. And then my friends were laughing, and my high school coach also didn't want me to go to Georgia Tech. So he's just sitting there like get him, So anyway, James Franklin, he's a very intense man. I will never forget that moment because I was embarrassed, but it was cool.
That's hilarious. That was him though, man. He was super intense and fired up.
JMU. That's amazing.
Yeah, he was at JMU with us, man.
Virginia. Come on.
So got to know him well. Yeah, but he's gonna have a rough road over the next couple of weeks. He's got to redeem himself, man. This is like Notre Dame losing to NIU, but maybe not even quite that bad, right? At least UCLA, he's got, that quarterback has finally showed up and played a ball game.
Yeah.
Which is an equalizer.
Yeah. Well, didn't they just have College Game Day there last week or something? And it was a lot of buzz,
they did.
And just a lot going on. And
letdown.
It was a letdown.
Yeah. Again, that's why I'm so glad we went out and got the win at Georgia State, man.
Yeah.
I mean, kudos. The most important thing, so props to Bob Chesney and staff. The most important thing to do is go win. I just think if our goal is to get into that CFP or at least even be in the conversation, we got to get style points over a team like Georgia State, which is better than their record. But when other teams are dropping 60 and 70 on them, we got to do better than 14, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, I think that goes back to the standard, and I know we're not getting back into it, but it goes back to the standard of, what are we playing for, right? I think where you're coming from is a standard of like college football playoffs. Where I'm coming from, it's just not that. I'm not saying that it's not the standard. I think that will be a plus, a bonus, a amazing season if we're able to accomplish it. We're not supposed to be there, right?
No, I disagree. I totally disagree with that, man. I hear people with this take that, oh, well, our goal shouldn't be to win, to get to the college football playoff. then what should it be then?
No, I didn't say that. Now that's a whole different.
And I'm saying, and by the way, I'm saying as a fan, what should our objective be?
Yeah, no, we
right.
What was that for college football playoffs for sure?
You know why? Because there's a spot for a G5 team.
Yeah,
like they have a spot reserved. And so in my mind, that is the FCS National Championship. Like our goal every year when we were FCS was to go to the national championship. It wasn't to win the CAA. Like that's old hat.
I like that. I like
right.
That. I like. The
and
way
so
you put
like
that.
if you could be the best G5 team and make it to the college football playoff, whether you win a game in the playoff or not, if you just get there, number one, the revenue and the exposure for the university is amazing. But number two, it will feel like a national championship. I promise you.
All right, that's going. We got to have Jack cut that one up because that was bars right there. I like that. That helps. That's really good. I love the way you put that. Yeah, man, that's good.
Thank you, man. You know,
I'm
old, man.
I'll let
I'll
let the old man speak.
Well, how about this? Since I got the last word on that, why don't you go ahead and get the last word today and take us to the house, Vad?
Let's take it to the house. Take it to the house is going to be pretty short and sweet. But today I have the privilege of having lunch with my oldest daughter. I get to go to her school right down the street, and I try to make that a weekly rhythm for my kids, showing up in their world, ensuring that, their teachers get to see me, their friends get to see me, just making sure that they feel seen, right? I absolutely love that, and it may seem small, but it's pretty special, and it's a win for the Lee household. This week, as we prepare for, this Louisiana team going into this game, they have some fire under their bellies right now. They have some fire where they just won a thrilling overtime game against a Marshall team who Marshall beat them in the Sun Belt title game last year. But this week I want to challenge the Dukes, and I want to challenge us all. We'll have to pack our lunch. We need to ensure that our lunch is packed against the Raging Canes. The Raging Canes are Cajuns. How do you say it? Raging Cajuns.
Raging Cajuns.
Raging Cajuns. They're calling. I seen their game. I seen their fans. They're doing this and doing this. They're saying it's lunchtime. Right? They're saying it's lunchtime. And here we go. We got a game at 12 o'clock. I mean, it couldn't be any perfect for JMU where it's lunchtime and we have to make sure that our lunch is packed. We have to destroy our lunch. Of course, I'm playing off of names, right? Their starting quarterback name is Lunch. What is his name? Lunch Winfield.
Lunch Wentz.
Winfield. But I believe that the Dukes, this kid is electric, right? He's from Louisiana. We talked a little bit about him. He won a double overtime game. But I truly believe that the Dukes will have their lunch packed this week, and we will not only just eat our lunch, but we will demolish our lunch. We have to ensure that everybody, I should see the fans have lunch boxes all around the stadium because we want to ensure that we have our lunch. But no, in all seriousness, hey man, it's a blessing to be a father in the father's seat, to be able to go and encourage my daughters and my son, and to be able to show up in their time and show up in their world. And this week, the fans of JMU have a wonderful opportunity to show up for the JMU Dukes, right? To show up and make sure that we pack our lunch. Go Dukes to the house.
Love it, man. I love it. I love the play on words, man. That was dope. Enjoy lunch with your daughter, man. JMU fans, show up. Let's get that lunch, man. Bring your little Transformers lunchbox to the tailgate. I'm going to bring mine because I'm coming to the game. And you know what, Matt? We got to get a dub, man. We're going to get back on track.
Yeah. Well, we never got off track. We're in the dub column. We just, we want to play the JMU brand of football. There we go.
Back to the standard, baby. Go Dukes.
Back to the standard. Go Dukes. To the house.
To the House is part of the JMU Sports News Podcast Network. Be sure to subscribe to the JMU Sports News Podcast Network to never miss an episode. To the House dropping in your podcast feeds every Monday night, and new episodes of the JMU Sports News Podcast coming in the middle of every week. To the House is produced by Jack Fitzpatrick, hosted by Delvin, Joyce, and Vad Lee. To the House is part of the JMU Sports News Podcast Network. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe wherever you find your podcasts. And be sure to follow To the House on Twitter and Instagram at JMU to the house.